Hi guys, it's Liza. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel and to stay with me and my small community. Guys, it's a little bit dark today outside, like cold weather, but also like gloomy. And I think while editing this video, I need to make it brighter. So that you can see me clearly. Of course you can see me, but I just like when the atmosphere of the video is like more warmer, warmer. So today guys, I want to talk about one thing that I recently noticed. It's not like I noticed it recently, but recently I just started to pay too much attention to this thing because I cannot be blind to it anymore. And it's a modern fear of being alone with your thoughts. You know what I mean? When there is a person who don't really know how to be alone. For example, if there is a person who needs to spend the whole day alone, this person will just like be crazy, about it, like how I can do something by myself, how I can go for a walk alone, yeah, there are people like this in my life, and I think in your life as well. People who prefer to spend time with someone else, prefer to spend time in big companies just because they are not they don't feel comfort in being alone, like staying, alone with their thoughts. And I think this is not a good thing. This is not a positive thing about our modern society. You know why? Because let me share with you something that maybe not each of you will resonate with, but my honest opinion is that not knowing yourself, not knowing thyself, it's the worst thing possible in our life, okay? And the best way to know yourself, to get to know yourself, is to spend time alone. It's to give yourself free space to know your higher self, to know who you really are. To be very honest, I don't even know how it's possible. I can't imagine how there are people who are living their life, living like their normal life without knowing who they really are. And what is funny is that these people, like in my life, who don't really know how to spend time alone, they don't like to be alone because they know that then they will be forced to meet their like thoughts, which they don't like to meet. The same people then going on, around telling people, or just like complaining about like, oh, I don't know what to do with my life, I don't really know what kind of dreams I have, what kind of goals I have. Like, how you will know what you want to do in this life? How will you know who you want to become in this life if you don't know yourself, if you don't give your higher self enough free time to introduce itself to you? Okay, I understand that we, like me and my higher self, it's the one, like, and basically we all people, we are one consciousness, but I like to think about me and my higher self as two different things, and just like we are completing, yeah, we are completing each other. It's like my higher self want to introduce itself to me, and I already know that my higher self knows me perfectly, but still there must be two-side connection, okay? It's like I'm willing to spend time with my higher self and to listen to its voice, to wanting to receive all these downloads from my higher self, like maybe some signs, some messages, and I'm giving my higher self free time to do it. And then my higher self is helping me in my goals, in my dreams, to create my dream life, to realize who I really am, to understand what are my strengths and my superpowers. But it must be two-side connection, you cannot expect your higher self to send you some messages to help you to understand what you want to do in this life, what is your purpose in this life, but in the same time not giving your higher self a free time to do it. And how you can do it? If you will reserve a free time, like let's say just like one day that you will keep for yourself, okay, to just spend time alone, you will give your higher self enough of free time to communicate with it, communicate with your higher self, to allow your higher self to send you some messages, some downloads. You will also give your higher self a space to introduce your shadow self to you, okay? Because we all have our shadow self. I've already talked about it in my previous video. Like, I think when it comes to ego, this is not something that we have. Like, ego, it's just like this parasite frequency that really likes to, follow our higher self, just like hunting our higher self and forcing it to connect to its frequency, okay? And then we can feel this shadow self, we can feel our ego. But I'm not I don't think like a shadow self or ego, it's like primer part of ourselves, okay? I think we come into this world without having our shadow self, but then, there is this ego frequency. There are so many dark forces in this life, many dark energies that force us to establish this connection with this ego frequency, with this ego mind pattern, and just like, having this shadow self. So this is why I think the major reason why modern person, like modern human, don't like to spend time alone, like don't even want to go and have a walk alone, it's because this person knows then that if he will spend time alone, he will be he will be forced to meet his shadow self. And people are not really they don't feel, how we call it, they don't feel comfort enough, they don't feel comfortable enough to meet their shadow self, to meet their past traumas, to meet their demons, to meet their ego side of personality, to meet mistakes that they've made in their past. So yeah, modern person doesn't really like to be alone because he or she knows what it will be about. But guys, there is no other way to understand yourself, to get to know yourself, but to be brave enough, be bold enough and confident enough to meet your higher self, but also to meet your shadow self. We all need to do our shadow work. Like, there is no way to live a normal life, there is no way to become the best version of yourself, there is even no way to create your dream life without working on your shadow self, without working with your shadow attributes, without working on your traumas, without working on some like negative thought patterns. This is not something that we can escape, like, as human beings. This is not something that we can expect to escape and then to live a normal life and just pretend that things are okay, that things are normal. Things can seem to be normal or okay, but they're actually not. Things will become okay, things will become normal in your life only when you will fully understand your true nature, who you really are. And again, the only way to understand your true nature is, unfortunately, to meet your higher self, which is a very positive thing. Again, connection with your higher self is the best connection that you will have in your life. But then, unfortunately, you are also, of course, to meet your shadow self. Yes, this is something that we cannot escape. And you need to learn how to work with your shadow self, how to not be afraid of it. Like, what is actually here to be afraid of? Like, it's just your dark side. Just imagine this angel and this like demon sitting on your shoulder and just like having conversation with this demon. This is nothing to be afraid of. Like, your shadow self will not hurt yourself, will not hurt you. It will only try to suggest to you some negative thoughts, like, oh, you need to see people as your enemies, oh, you are not good enough. And you just need to be brave enough to say no, like, okay, like, my ego, my shadow self, I got your point, but I don't agree with it. Like, I am enough. I don't want to see people as my enemies. I like people. I want to live a positive and optimistic life. I want to have a positive, optimistic outlook on this life. So please stop whispering these negative thoughts to me, okay? So basically, your shadow self will not hurt you. It will only show you things that maybe you are not aware of in your past. Yeah, I actually think like people need to stop being so afraid of this shadow work. Yes, of course, it will cause you to feel certain emotions, to feel and to remind yourself like different things from your past that you want to forget, you don't want to think about it. But trust me, once you will meet it once again, like this maybe hard situations that you had in your life, hard experiences, and you will feel these unpleasant things again, but then you will work on them and you will release them, then you can go free. Like, you will be free. You will not be forced again to meet these things because you've already worked on them and you already released them. So now you're free to live your life, and then just wait maybe until some time when another, like maybe past trauma or another negative thought pattern from your past will appear, and then you work with it again, you release it, and you go. So it's just about you working with your shadow self, working with your dark personality traits, with your ego mind. It's just about freeing yourself. It's actually a very positive thing, to do this shadow work, to work with yourself, to stay alone with your thoughts. And again, I know that there are so many people who think that the biggest problem of the 21st century society is that we tend to overthink things. I know, I agree with it because I struggle with it oftentimes, like, yeah. Even though I consider myself to be already like an awakened person and I've done a lot of this shadow work, I still struggle with overthinking. Sometimes I can't go sleep, I can't sleep because there's just like this big wave of different thoughts. But this is a normal thing because we live in the era of information. This is why this problem appears, okay? The problem of overthinking, because we live in such times. It's nothing we can do about it. If you want to stop overthinking, you probably need to go to some desert and just stay there alone for just like 2 months, or just like to go to some forest when there are no people and just stay there alone. And maybe there, when you will not have any access to information, then you will probably stop your overthinking process or just make it a little bit slower. But if you live in a normal like city, in a normal like country, in just like this normal environment, when you have contact with many people in your daily life, when you are watching TV, you are listening to news, you are watching videos on YouTube or TikTok, there is no way for you to not overthink different stuff from your life sometimes. But when you understand that it's not able to escape overthinking, you will also understand that there is no need to connect a long time with overthinking. Because when people think that these are two things that are strongly connected with each other, like, okay, if I will spend time alone, if I will need to stay alone, then I will start to overthink. When you think about this process in this way, it's a normal thing that you would try to escape it, okay? You don't want to spend time alone, you don't want to go for a walk alone, you don't want to get to know yourself because you are afraid of this overthinking process. But when you think about these two things as about two different things, like, again, overthinking process, it's something that appears in our life because we live in such times, okay? We live in 21st century, the era of information. But being alone, it's not the same thing. Being alone, again, is the best way for you to understand yourself, to get to know yourself better, who you really are, what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, what are your desires, your dreams, your fears, everything. Because again, when there is a person who doesn't like to spend time alone, but then I'm hearing from this person things such as like, oh, I don't know what to do in my life, I don't really know who I am, what are my strengths, weaknesses. You will not know if you don't spend time alone. I will not tell you who you are. You need to do this, make this deep dive into your higher self and your true essence, and to find all these answers by yourself. There is no other person in this world who will tell you who you are, who you need to be, what is your life purpose. No, it's only you, my friend. So if you are not giving yourself time to find all these answers, like for about who you are, about your existence, about your true nature, don't expect words to tell you who you are. So please, guys, today I really invite you to be... What I wanted to say. I invite you to be brave, to be bold, to start giving your higher self free space to introduce itself to you, okay? Trust me, when you will give yourself a free time, free space, you will start to receive all these downloads and messages that you need in order to know who you really are, okay? Because this is the main work that your higher self is doing in your daily life. But then also, please don't be afraid of doing this shadow work, because again, it's not something bad. It will not hurt you. It will only show you something that you need to release. But releasing it actually gives you freedom to go to the next chapter of your life, and just feeling that you became more free than your previous version, okay? It's just about remembering and reminding yourself different situations from past, but again, past is past. It's already gone, you know. These things, they already gone. They will not appear again. It's only in your mind, okay? It's only something that you need to release in your mind, and not being forced to experience it again. It's just your mind who needs to remind and remember all this stuff, but then you are releasing it, and you don't need to meet these past experiences again, okay? You can be free from it. So please don't be afraid to do shadow work. Don't be afraid to spend time alone. Appreciate alone time. If you have a free day and like there are no friends who want to meet or hang out with you, appreciate this opportunity to stay alone with your thoughts, and again, meet your higher self, but also this shadow self, and to do this shadow work and just to get to know yourself. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention. I love you all. I'm sending you all big love and big dose of positive vibrations, emotions, energies, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.